Frank on radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Hey, this is Frank Skinner. It is the Not the Weekend podcast, and I am in residence with Emily Dean and, of course, Alun Cochrane. And we're sitting in the cosy little studio. We're just looking at each other, and I like it. It's one of my favourite times of the whole week. This is what I imagine it was like for Terry Waite and John and all those.
Oh dear.
Probably a bit less fun, but after a bit, you come up with a few, games and stuff like that, I imagine.
Well, that's what's worrying me.
Yeah, exactly.
What's my role in these?
Didn't do a lot of podcasts, did they?
They didn't know that.
The hostages.
I'm not sure the technology existed then.
No,
and also,
right.
They were a bit far from the mic because they were...
chained to the radio.
Yeah, exactly. But at least...
So it's not like that, shall we say?
But anyway, let's just start by saying I'm glad they got out and everything was all right.
Yeah.
And, they've written their books, they've exploited it, why shouldn't we?
Exploited.
So anyway...
As opposed to retold.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, retold, they could have retold it and given it away free.
Ancient Mariner style. What's wrong with that?
I think, every cloud, that's the way they saw it, and that's fair enough. So we're... the Edinburgh Festival.
I'm so glad you weren't there to greet them when they came out, and you went, "Oh well, every cloud."
Yeah. A firm handshake and just a whispered, "There's a book in this."
Anyway, that's the topical stuff out the way.
8 years ago or something.
Yeah, and yes, so Edinburgh is now a tiny dot in the rear view mirror of this show, and but I did have an incident.
Oh God.
Well, first of all, I had a very nice incident. I was leaving...
oh, God.
I was leaving Dave Gorman. Now, Dave Gorman is, of course, our absolute colleague. His show was absolutely top-notch.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, when it comes to London, I'd very much recommend people to go and see him. But anyway, and I'm not just saying that because it was great. But as I was leaving, a lady said to me... Oh, she said, I'm so glad I've met you, she said, because I went through a bit of a difficult time in my life. And... she said, luckily, what she actually said was, I had 150 iPods. And I thought, right, what are you, some sort of... do you work for the black market? And she meant podcasts.
Oh.
And she'd listened to these. I don't know what the tough time was, I didn't pry. But it was a very nice thing to say. And she said, I associate your voice very much with comfort. I'm assuming she didn't mean the fabric conditioner.
And that's not something a lot of women have said to you in the past.
No, exactly. A lot of them associate me with torment. But no, so it's a really nice, lovely, and, it's one of those things that make it all worthwhile. However, the next show I went to, there was a lady sitting, and some people, when they sit in a crowd and they're on their own, they won't sit next to anyone. Even though it's clearly a sold-out show. They have to have a seat at either side of them, and then people come in, and if they have to move up in the end, just sit next, bodge up.
Yeah.
Bodge up. So anyway, so this woman was sitting there. It's an attractive woman, probably mid-30s. So I thought, well, I'll sit.
I hate her already.
Yeah. So I sat next to her. She moved up one. Now I thought, that's an insult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone from behind would have thought maybe I'd used her somehow to support myself as I sat down, you know what I mean? And I thought, now I'm the one who's sitting with an empty seat either side of me. So everyone was thinking I was that
People
fool.
are thinking you're not a bodger, but you are a bodger. You like to
I bodge up, yeah.
So why do you say bodge?
Didn't you always used to say that?
No.
Oh, okay. Like in the school dinner queue, you go, bodge up.
No, you say, would you please move?
Or if you want to sit on a sofa and someone's a bit near, say bodge up to give you some.
Bodge. I say budge. You say, I say bodge.
I'd say bodge or budge.
There you go.
Uh,
I'd vary it.
Anyway, so then some other people started arriving, and of course I was the awkward one sitting in the wrong thing. And I thought, I can't move up and sit next to this woman now. She'll feel that she's being pursued along the row.
It's some kind of weird seating.
So this couple arrived, and God bless them, they looked like really nice people, but they were big boned and then some.
Oh.
Oh.
Him and her. And,
Well, they're what you would call in South America an hombre grande, which is what I heard once.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, this was with I don't know what the lady would be in a case like that.
Oh, I don't know.
But anyway, they were a big couple, and I didn't want to move up and sit by this woman, so I ended up that they were in fairly quick, and one sat one side of me and one sat the other. Now I'm happy to sit next to a big person, but if there's one either side,
Oh, yeah, the meat in the sandwich there.
I mean, I really, well, I don't know about that. I felt that there was quite a lot of meat either side, but I was honestly, I had to sit with my elbows in front of me rather than at my side.
Oh, dear.
And if there'd been anything important in my pocket, I mean, if I'd had my phone in my pocket, it'd gone off. It would have just, luckily, it would have been mainly muffled.
If you'd had a bag of crisps in there.
That would have been the end of that.
Some broken biscuits. on the way out.
Smithereens.
It wasn't their fault, you know. It's because I was sitting accident in the middle of. I tell you what it was like. Do you ever play pool in a pub? And when you take the cue is in like a clip. You know, there's like a clip that comes across here. It was like that. So if someone had pulled me out of that seat, it would have made like a. It would have been like a. as like
You were wedged in.
Oh God, it really annoyed me though. Why do people leave that empty seat? Does it make any difference that you sit next to a stranger? You're in an auditorium.
Well, especially if it's a full show. Like, you're going to be sitting next to somebody. So you
Did
might
I
as well
mention,
just
by the way, I was just wearing my pyjama jacket?
No.
Oh yeah, that's probably a key detail.
I like that Alan's objecting from the bums on seat perspective.
Yeah, I think if it's a sold out show, then you've no right to expect a seat next to you. But if there's a bit of room, you know, if you're looking at a 3-star that reads like a 4 show, then you know you can have a seat next to you and stretch the old legs. I'm a tall man, so I like the spare seat next to me in a show that is not packed.
But why does that gain you any leg room?
I can sort of twist the old hips and stretch.
Oh, do you sit couchant?
I do, yeah. I've got a side saddle sometimes.
Do you? You wrap around?
Depending on the venue and the amount
like
of
a coiled
leg space
snake.
I'm afforded. The Edinburgh Fringe has not yet got to the stage where there's a reclining seat like in a posh cinema.
No.
There's none of that, is there?
I found when we were up there, though, what I hated was that men, I'm going to call them on it. It was men. Ladies sit in a very considerate fashion, legs crossed, all together, much like the Queen in official photographs. Men splay the legs.
Well, yeah, that's an aeration thing. I think.
It's an Aryan thing.
No, but you have to get a bit amount of air circulating in. Yeah. I mean that's that. I don't think that's.
Why
their
should
fault.
you have
It's just
that?
biology.
It is their
It's
fault.
biology, that.
No, but you know, I mean, I suppose if you're in a kilt, you're all right. But I find certainly, I mean, I don't wear denim anymore because I've gone beyond it. But I mean, in denim, it generates quite a lot of heat. I mean, Shakin' Stevens, he used to sit in those gynecological stirrups after a gig in
That much denim.
in a refrigerated room just to get up. Yeah, there would be Shakin' Stevens and then a tray of hooks with carcasses on.
I'm glad you said hooks. I don't think what state Francis Rossi's in then.
Well, Francis Rossi, I think his private parts have disintegrated.
Yeah. He looks just like he put deep heat on there in the 1970s.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
He may as well have.
no, it's true, though. It's so I think that's what it is.
Oh,
it's
I
trying-
see.
It's
There's
a
medical reasons.
It's a cooling device.
I'll tell you what I don't like. If you're in a really packed theatre and you're sat next to somebody, when somebody arrives a bit late and sits on a layer of your clothing and you feel a bit pinned. Have you had that?
Yes.
When
Yeah,
you-
they'll sit on your coat. Yeah.
And you feel a bit combative when you give them a little, like,
Yeah.
you know, when you sort of
A
wrestle
tug.
yourself out. Like,
That's
come
happened
on.
with my Istanbul pantaloons more time than they can. I've had people 2 seats away sitting on them.
That was when you decided to retire them and wear them only indoors. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
people have come. They've assumed it was a throw. It was actually the outer leg of my Istanbul pantaloon. Yeah, that is horrible, though. You do feel like you've been
yeah.
snared.
You're invaded. It's an
Yeah.
invasion of your personal space, isn't it?
And also, then I start worrying there's something fragile in the pocket, you know.
Your bag of crisps again.
Well, whatever it is. I think I once lost a Pez dispenser with somebody sitting on my overcoat pocket. I didn't lose it, but it the head came off.
Was it the Pez dispenser that was the reason that eBay was invented? Is that right? It was people trying to auction the tops of Pez dispensers.
Is that right?
I love your facts.
I don't have many. I do not have many. But
I like the ones you've got.
We've stumbled on this one. I'm pretty sure that is why eBay was invented.
Well, I think I've mentioned on this show before that I'm always on the lookout for an unusual Pez dispenser head.
Well, there you are. You're exactly the target market for the original.
A couple of weeks ago, I acquired Paul Coyer, the former daytime TV presenter. I got a Paul Coyer Pez dispenser. Yeah.
I don't know whether or not to believe you.
Yeah, in Scotland, apparently they. Not hot cakes, but there was a market for them. Anyway, this.
Oh dear.
Wow.
So Alan's become, Frank, rather a fan of one of my habits.
Yeah, even now I'm thinking OMG. I am. I'm literally. This Pez dispenser story has got me thinking OMG.
Really? Well,
I never thought I'd see the day.
I wasn't aware that people thought OMG.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh, I don't think we've met.
Yeah, I also don't like it. I've heard atheists say OMG, and mind your own business.
Yeah.
Can you say YMG if you're around me?
You're my God.
No. No, was it? No, it should be OYG.
Yeah.
Your God. Not you're my God. No, that would be. I don't want them to say that.
No.
They should say OMD, oh my Dawkins.
Yeah, exactly.
Much more appropriate.
What does OMD stands for something else?
Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, darling, yeah.
Of course, that's the worry. They might think that someone has used orchestral manoeuvres in the dark as an exclamation.
I'd like it if that happened.
Oh, that would be...
OM question mark is really the atheists, isn't it? That's the...
Yes, well, that's the agnostics.
Oh, yeah, right.
OM zero, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will just look like Omo. That's...
Yeah, exactly, the old washing powder.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm picking up the text and internet
Alan, darling,
speak.
are you?
I'm glad we've already had a reference to both Omo, the washing powder, and Comfort, the fabric conditioner. I want to work my way through a whole wash before the end.
Well, you'll get bouncing there before too long.
Yeah.
So, so go on.
And
more about things of mine you like.
Apparently it's made it into the dictionary, the old text and internet speak. People are concerned by it, but I like it. OMG. Apparently BFF is best friend forever, isn't it? And
yes.
That was popularised by Paris Hilton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she likes that. BFF.
Best friend forever is sticking your neck out a bit.
Forever is too strong a word.
Yeah, I think Emily said that about Neil Gaiman. Boy, was she ever wrong.
Rather than best friend forever, I'm more of a fan of NLF AWAGTD, which is nothing less forever and we're all going to die. So, it's not as catchy or as flip as Paris's BFF.
And you might spend quite a bit of time explaining it to people. People are not going to let that pass if you just rattle off that list of...
The only one that I use that's more catchy is VFM. I'm a big fan of value for money. VFM.
Also, I've noticed.
You got it. When you get a bargain, you can't help but think, "Oh,
VFM."
I've had some VFM.
Do you know what? Nothing gives me greater pleasure than when one of my acronyms takes off. Frank used one on me the other day, and I almost cried with happiness. He said he was rearranging something, and he said, "It's not a UMB." Oh, that made me happy. Which was? Do you know what UMB is, Alan?
UMB.
Frank will know.
I'm afraid I don't.
Shall I remind you? It's the unspoken mutual blowout.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Frank used it on me. Loved it.
And it wasn't one, but the trouble is, once you've mentioned it, obviously the other person knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've planted the seed, haven't you?
But I always look forward to that bit where the new things in the new dictionary, the new words. But one of the phrases that it said was a new phrase was "fill your boots."
Surely that's
ancient.
So why has it taken so long for that to get into the dictionary? I've been saying that to Kate Winslet for you.
I said that to Van Gogh some years prior to that as well. Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't. Do you not really get that?
No, what is it?
He did a very famous painting.
Of his boots?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
You learn something on this show. It's very cultural.
That's fair enough.
I think there's a reason we didn't quite go straight to the painting of the boots, though, because he chopped his ear off famously.
Yeah, no, that
you
did.
You
that
mentally
did.
go straight to that.
Got in the
don't you?
way of everything. I thought maybe you went to Boots for a plaster. I was off on a whole different tangent. Can you use it? Would a plaster suffice for a severed ear?
I suspect not. Didn't he turn to absinthe? Oh, it was on absinthe that he did it, wasn't it?
Well, that
Yeah.
wouldn't help his ear.
Some.
Although I believe it does make the heart grow fonder.
Oh, God.
I've heard that.
puns.
Well, I looked at...
OMD.
I read the Daily Mail. I read that the thing about the fill your boots being in.
Oh, yeah.
And it said fill your boots meaning to making the most of a situation. It says,
Oh.
and then it said evoking a poignant reminder of the recent riots and looting. I thought no,
No,
not for a second.
only in the Daily Mail's mind.
Well, I met, as our regular listeners will know, if they
Yeah.
heard the show or the podcast of the show, me and the Cockerel went to see Midnight Beast.
Yes.
It was a youthful band.
Was it ever?
And one of them said to me, he said, all right, Frank, what the hap?
No.
Oh.
Which means, like, what's happening?
Oh.
What the hap?
What the hap? Yeah, obviously I looked at him like one would look at a piece of furniture. I had no sense of what my facial response should be. What the hap? I didn't even
What
look
the hap?
puzzled. I just looked.
Next time you meet them, you need to take a little glossary of terms like the IKEA catalogue.
Yeah.
Just
I'd
look
be-
down at it.
My favourite phrase from Edinburgh was one I saw in a jeweller's window on
What was that?
near the Royal Mile, and it said. There's a big sign in the window that said, watch batteries expertly fitted. And I thought, I'd happily go and spend 20 minutes doing that. Of course, I realised after it meant watch batteries expertly fitted.
But at a festival where there are worse shows on than that.
Oh,
then-
God. There's a lot of shows I saw I would have happily gone and want some batteries being
Is
there.
this on the free fringe?
But there is a skill to fit in a battery, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Sometimes you need tweezers.
Well, that bit, do you go for the actual spring? Is that where do you head towards the spring when you go in, or do you head towards the slightly raised metal
Yeah.
platform at the
Not-
other end? I'm
not-
calling it a platform.
Not proud of this, but on a watch-related note, whilst in Edinburgh, I caught myself admiring the wristwatch on a homeless man. What does that say about me? Walked past him and just, I don't know anything about watches, but I thought, oh, that's
That
quite,
looks nice.
it's quite a handsome watch, and then thought, it might well be worth something. Maybe he got given it before he fell on these troubles, and perhaps I should make him an offer. I don't know. Is that horrible? Is that really horrible?
No,
15 quid?
You
15.
sure it wasn't a way of finding his way around? A
Like a-
compass or something of that nature.
Compass, yeah.
Well, I mean, they
It's
don't
one of
really
those-
operate on... I remember a friend telling me...
You don't need a watch, really.
A friend
It's a
told me
waste.
in Birmingham on New Street Station, he'd asked what we used to call tramps in those days if he got the time, and the tramp said, "I don't operate on a chronological system."
I love that
so-
tramp.
Yeah,
I love that tramp.
and it is. Who needs a watch if you're a?
Surely that's one of
Yeah.
the benefits of being itinerant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't need a. I said they don't need a watch. Anyone misheard that? I said that tramps don't need a watch. Obviously, they need a wash. That goes without saying. That's sort of, they need to go to the soap kitchen. That's my advice. They don't need. Maybe they don't need one. Maybe that's harsh.
Soap kitchen is an elegant pun. That one letter, that is really lean.
Thank you very much. I'm
Hats
raising.
off,
I'm
hats
raising. Oh, he's actually taken his hat off. That was
I didn't think you'd do that.
yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I like to do the podcast in a beanie for listeners. Since I've seen Midnight Beast,
Well,
they were peaked, weren't they? They were a peaked
They wore
baseball cap.
sportswear. They wore shorts
Oh,
on
yeah.
stage.
oh, I love that.
I
I
caught
love
myself-
their headgear as well.
If
I
I'm
was
going
longing
to
to
pay
wear
to see
shorts.
someone wearing shorts, I want there to be a ball involved. To be honest.
They look very good in their... How old are they getting, Frank?
Oh.
They're early 20s.
Oh, okay.
I actually felt like I might be an older stepbrother turning up to watch one of them, something like that.
I would
About
be, if
15
I
years.
was a parent, I'd be anxious about the girls.
People
get
like
very,
me.
Well, the girls get very overexcited, and they are girls. They're not.
Yeah.
But in a weird way,
They
it's sort of perfect kind of rock and roll in its that uptight parents will be worried about it, but really there's not that much that's that bad. It's almost like Elvis wiggling his hips and people going, oh
No, I agree with that, but these are girls who've only just turned their back on Barbies, what it looked
Yeah.
like. I don't mean Klaus Barbie, the Butcher of Leon. I mean
Yeah, you don't turn your back on him.
You'd be relieved if your children had turned their back on him.
exactly. It was a bit of a difficult phase that she went through, the obsession with Klaus Barbie.
Stop going on about Klaus Barbie!
Yeah, Klaus Barbie's friend Ken.
I like
The original Ken and Barbie.
Yeah, exactly. No, so they just seem. And I'll tell you something that they did. Going back to that gig, is every one of these, even though they were dancing and going crazy,
Yeah.
every one of them was videoing the gig. They
Oh,
all
yeah.
got their video phones.
Yeah.
I find that weird.
Do you?
Well, yeah, no, I have once made a phone call from a gig to say I can hear it and this is it, and I can't remember what the gig was, but I can't imagine filming it for posterity.
I was in a car once, and every few minutes, Kath was watching The Four. I was working out of town. She'd phone me up and say, new song, and then she'd hold the phone for me to hear the new song, and then
nice.
go off, and then another new song. And I heard about 5 songs over the phone. It's very wonderful. That is what love is all about in our house.
Nice.
Let me tell you that. What else?
Well, I'll tell you what else. And it's to do with my house, although not my current house.
What, in
Frank.
the middle of our street?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was reading a story this week. I don't know if you saw this. It was about children's pocket money. Apparently it's gone up. It's on the rise, and it's the first time in about 7 years that it's gone up.
Oh, did I see it?
Well, apparently...
Has Daddy been grumpy around the house at reading this news?
How old is your son?
He's 4, so he's not in pocket money stage yet. But I did think,
What is
God,
the pocket money age where you start getting it?
Yeah, I'd
I'm
quite
not
like to know,
sure.
because my parents sent me out on film sets to work, so I never really knew what age you were meant to get
You're
pocket
still
money.
waiting for pocket money.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'd still quite like it, actually. Still waiting for any of that money as well, but that's another story.
Yeah, that is another story.
So open that can of worms.
Ticking on, are they? Ticking on.
That could be an absolute special. I
Hello,
think.
Mishcon Derea. So, yeah. But apparently, the average child gets $6.25 a week. No, in fact, my parents were just quite chaotic with finances. They would just, like, money would come in and they'd say, let's buy a wine box and some first editions.
Yeah.
So we never got taught to sort of save or anything.
No,
But most kids do get pocket money, this is right, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I love it. Yeah, I love. Can I just say, I just love the phrase pocket money. If you actually
Yeah.
stop and think about it, money that you can put in your pocket. What other kind of money is
Great,
there?
isn't it? And in a way, that's probably why it's gone up, because the kids all wear combat trousers now, isn't it?
Well,
so
that's
there's
it.
more
Oh,
pockets,
man,
more
yeah,
pocket
exactly.
money. That's it.
Do the kids all wear combat trousers, or wasn't that
Yeah.
about 10 years ago?
No, it's definitely now.
Okay.
What
Pockets
did you
everywhere.
get, Frank? Did you get pocket money?
I can't remember. I think I got about. I seem to it got up to about £1 towards the end of the. When I got to about 15.
That would have been a note as well.
It was
Like
a
back
note.
in the day,
It was
yeah.
a big note. It was one of those you had to fold about 5 times. One of the great thing about it was I spent it on comics and sweets, and that was it. And wouldn't life be simple now if you just basically bought 2? And it's such easy stuff to buy. I could do with more clothes, but I only ever buy like the hooded tops, jackets, things that you can try on without having to take something else off.
Oh, really?
I can't be bothered to go into a
Extraordinary
changing
principle.
booth.
No, that's an interesting, because I do sometimes find that a bit of a pain. Go, oh God, here we go.
Oh, exactly. I'd sooner do without.
I've got 5 layers on, and I'm trying on the bottom layer, a replacement for the bottom layer. Oh,
I mean, trousers. You can't try a pair of trousers. You've got to take your shoes off.
yeah.
You've got to
Dress
take
sensibly.
your trousers. You've got to hang those up.
That's why you wear a shopping outfit.
They're always too
Oh,
long.
yeah.
A shopping outfit. What is
Just a
that?
tube dress and nothing else.
I don't think
what I
Frank
go
can
for.
do that.
That would. I had
People-
enough trouble when I went into Marks and Spencer's in just a pyjama jacket.
People recognise him.
They do. They did that day. Certainly, my ex-wife spotted me, and she was on the lower escalator. It was. That was at cards I used to buy. Like
Oh, yeah.
bubblegum cards.
Collectible.
Oh God, I bought
Joe
that.
Bazooka. I used to get...
Bazooka Joe.
Oh, Bazooka Joe, is that what it was called?
I used to buy I had these, there was a series called American Civil War cards. And they were like...
when was this?
There were scenes from the American Civil War with a bit of info on the back. You know, they used to come and you get like 5 cards and then...
Yes, because I got Star Wars cards,
You get a square of chewing gum in there as well, so you could concentrate on the...
I just had a fag.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. But they were the most violent... They were incredibly violent cards. There was one called The Cannon's Victim, and it was a bloke standing about a foot away from a cannon being blown to smithereens by it. And there was another one called Under the Cannon's Wheels, I think it was. It's a highly cannon themed.
Mm.
And it was a bloke who was already had a bandaged arm, so already not well, being crushed by the wheels of a cannon. And this was for children.
Yeah,
and
he's
I
had a
remember...
bad couple of days, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it was the same bloke. But it was... it was a bit of a loose cannon. It was actually exposed on one of those sort of That's Life type consumer. It was one of the 2 sets of cards I collected as a child that were exposed on TV.
Oh, really?
The other one was I collected these James Bond cards.
Oh, yeah.
Which had got some quite, how can I put it, some quite slinky pictures of ladies on the cards. I mean,
a bit racy.
Yeah.
Nice.
A bit, I mean...
Shirley Eaton.
Well, I don't know about eating, but certainly nibbled. There was lots of quite, how can I put it, quite busty pictures, you know. I mean, we get really rude, but I mean, for kids' cards. And I remember we watched, I think it was something like Braden's Week used to be this kind of... It's where, it was where, what's she called, the woman who did the child line thing?
Esther Ransom.
Esther Ransom, where she began, I think. And they were exposing it, and they said these cards, it's just wrong that these are for children. And I think my mum and my sister, I was watching it with our Nora and my mum, they knew I collected these James Bond. So Nora says, can I have a look at your James Bond cards? And I thought, they're on to me. So she handed them over, and some of them were quite full on, you know, big ladies. And she said to me, which is your favourite card? And I thought, I'm like, I know
you're not falling for
that.
that.
So I pointed to a picture of Sean Connery in a tuxedo. She said, no, what's your favourite one with a lady on? And I thought, I'm being pursued. I am being pursued here. I'm being investigated. And although I was a tiny child, I was wise to it.
It's like Frost Nixon.
Yeah, I went for Honor Blackman in... Get this, roll neck sweater and jacket. I thought,
you're good.
And I remember Nora said, that's a nice one, isn't it? A bit disappointed.
Yeah.
That I hadn't gone for it. Yeah, but...
smelt the kill.
But I bought a lot of those. With my pocket money.
I feel a bit pedestrian now. I used to get, I think, £2 or £3 and we'd go to Dewsbury Market and we could get what we wanted from Dewsbury Market.
Well, what did you get? Cleaning fluid?
It varied.
Sounds like the sort of place you can get a nice plastic bowl.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely have got that.
Yeah.
But I went through various phases. I did quite a lot of karate as a schoolboy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, there was a point where I would get like a martial arts magazine from W.H. Smith's by Dewsbury Market or something like that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And then there was a point where... I used to buy things off the market, like football socks. There used to be a stall...
What, to do karate?
No, to play football.
No, stone floors in the Japanese-themed gymnasiums.
Very slippy.
Yeah.
That would have been chaos.
You want those little black slippers like Bruce Lee?
Oh,
yes.
no, that's Kung Fu. Very much. Well, Bruce Lee invented Jeet Kune Do, JKD. As it's well known.
Oh, lovely,
It
Alan.
Bruce Lee's,
usage.
Bruce Lee's. No, that's
What's
what
that?
it's known as.
Alco Pop.
JKD. Yeah.
It's an alco pot.
What did he invent?
Jeet Kune Do. Oh, people will email in about this. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Did he record anything Jeet Kune Do, I can do better?
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've seen those words and not thought of a pun. That is highly commendable.
I've gone a bit pun crazy today.
You've gone on form.
I'll have to be careful.
Soap Kitchen.
I love Bruce Lee, and I didn't know he invented Jeet Kune Do.
Invented Jeet Kune Do, and I used to buy seconds off the sports
Jeet Kune Do
stall.
is a martial art in itself, isn't
Yep.
it? It's not. It sounds like a bloke, doesn't it? So he invented him. He said to his
Sentence.
wife, "I'm meeting Jeet Kune Do down the
No,
road."
it's the name of it rather than a sentence that contains the verb.
Yeah, exactly.
But I used to buy football socks that were seconds. the seconds still exist.
Do you mean a waist strip?
A second's what? So
No,
they
like slightly faulty.
Yes,
so
yeah, I know
there was
that.
a phase where they sold
They didn't
Hummel football socks that Spurs wore, and I wasn't a Spurs supporter, but you were buying them cheap. It was a
But
thrifty
you wanted the cockerel,
purchase.
the cock sportive.
Yeah.
Exactly, they had the cockerel on them, but sometimes they'd be on they were meant to be on the outside of the legs, and there'd be one that was on the inside that wasn't meant,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was why they were on there.
You know, I spend hours doing that. I've got 1 or 2 pairs of socks. Like, I've got a pair of Pringles socks.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 pairs the same, and the cleaner will wrap up 2 with the logo on the left and 2 with the logo
Oh,
on the
no.
right. And you want them both on the outsides, obviously.
Psycho.
You don't want them on the inside. Sometimes the embroidery will lock, like Velcro. I did that, got up and fell over. Yeah, I needed...
Clowning. Someone's tied your shoelaces together.
yeah, I had to phone 999 for a seamstress. So yeah, but I miss... there's something exciting about pocket money.
Yeah, I'm sure there was.
I'm
It's a bit
dreading
like
the
bed
point.
clothes, I always think. You know, bed clothes
Yeah.
is a great phrase. I'm going to put the bed clothes on. Got a big shirt for it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you don't wear the bottom half of your pyjamas, do you, when you're out?
No.
I don't. You've got to let the air get to it, I told you.
Get to it. Nobody wanted that phrase.
No, I sleep with the lower half of my body out the window. It's true, there's a rumour that Bernard Matthews has moved in.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute.